Hey everyone, welcome back to your week ahead astrology breakdown with me, Matthew from Stillwater Alchemy. Happy Pisces season. It's finally here. I've been saying pretty much for the past few days to a lot of different people in my life that this Pisces season is one for the history books in a very benevolent way. I have a whole bunch of friends that are already seeing a lot of blessings. And so I'm curious if you're feeling it on your end as well. Thursday of last week, myself and Audra Santa, the founder of Little Copper Lighthouse, we hopped on a live and we discussed all the prominent themes of Pisces season, one of which really being intuition, of course, and how to tap into that intuition to further develop our own gifts, to increase our personal power and autonomy. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that, you can head to our Instagram and catch that for more details. And if you're looking to develop your own intuitive gifts, strengthen that channel for yourself, I know that Audra is actually hosting a beautiful course that really provides more insight into this area. So if that's something that calls to you, or if you watch the live and really connect with Audra's energy, I'll put the link below so you can check out her accelerator course, and you can use the promo code Stillwater to save some coins as well. So that's all there. And I bring up intuition because especially this week with the moon in Scorpio and the 22222 portal that's happening, a lot of people are asking questions, are really curious about this. That's going to be such a strong overview throughout the entirety of Pisces season, and it's going to help you anchor in to what you're feeling and what you're downloading and keep you on course, because a lot of people have also been asking me about love. Pretty much all of my client sessions this weekend were regarding intimacy and relationships and love in some way, shape, or form. And remember that Mars and Venus are basically edging each other. They're pursuing each other, and they're within 1 degree of each other for many more weeks. Until we get to March, that's when Venus overtakes Mars and starts moving at her regular cadence, because she'll get out of her post-retrograde shadow. So if you've been feeling frisky or wanting to activate that sexual energy, sexual magic, again, you're not alone in that regard either. So with all that said, happy Pisces season, and let's dive into these waters, shall we? I will say this week when I was forecasting and looking ahead that every day seems actually really nice, and there's lots to take full advantage of, which is good because for the past 6 weeks or so, 2022 has really showed us where we have to be held accountable and where we need to do some work on ourselves. So starting off on Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the moon in Scorpio making that trine to the sun in Pisces. So for me, I would really advise you to tap into your intuition right at the start of the week and see what's coming through. It may be, I really want to get this task done, or I'm really wanting to connect with this person, or I really feel called to fill my fridge up with food and really get some strawberries and mangoes. Whatever it is, of course, it's going to be unique to you, but there's almost this energy I'm feeling with the moon making that square to Mercury in Aquarius of I should be doing this, I should be doing that, but how do you feel? What's coming through there? And for some of you, it might just be, I'm exhausted, I need to rest. For some, you want to connect. Maybe some you're really feeling the groove and you're in that flow with work and business. And that's again where, especially Tuesday as well, and even my crown is tingling right now. Do not compare yourself to other people. That's going to be a very big theme. And remember, with Pisces, it's mutable water. So oftentimes there are no real boundaries. And sometimes that fantasy and illusion can seep into our subconscious and make us feel a certain type of way based on what other people are doing or saying or showing, which may or may not be real, which is very Piscean. I also believe when the last time Jupiter was in Pisces is when Instagram was birthed. I'm pretty sure 12 years ago. So that can also just give us a little insight to that energy that Instagram uses that make many of us addicted to it. So with all that said, tune into your own channel and protect it and safeguard it so that you're not allowing these energy leaks or energy drips from outside influences that aren't going to serve you, especially as we move to Tuesday, which is that portal, February 22nd, 2022. It's also the Pluto return in the United States chart, what I'm not really going to get into right now, just because there's a lot of different opinions and that can be its own video. But if you do follow American astrology and Pluto transits, it's basically getting to that exact point where Pluto was when the United States was formed. And that could bring about a lot of change with regards to money and power and kind of the death and rebirth of what could come, which could obviously manifest in many different ways. I'm kind of hopeful with having both Venus and Mars there that it might be a good thing. But this is also to kind of, again, give a forewarning that with all this benevolent energy with the Scorpio moon making those trines to Jupiter and Neptune, that you can kind of cultivate whatever magic and whatever manifestations you want. But if you allow your energy to be caught up in other people, there just could be a delay, or you could be frustrated or irritated because the moon is also making that square to Saturn. So please, 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 Monday and Tuesday, protect your energy. That can even just be saging or smudging or wearing protective crystals, not going on social media that much. Like, these are little things that are going to safeguard what you are wanting to cultivate moving forward. It could also be a nice time, especially on Tuesday, to just do whatever ritual work that feels nice to you. That can even just be lighting a candle and being mindful and journaling down some insights or some intuitive downloads that are coming through at the start of Pisces season. Or it could also be some sex magic or what you're wanting to cultivate around intimacy and pleasure. Like I said, we have Mars and Venus canoodling together, and they're also making that applied sextile to Neptune. So this is kind of nice because the moon is getting sextile energy from Mars and Venus, and then also making those trines to Jupiter and Neptune. So either take time alone or take time with people that you love to have some fun. It could also be a very frisky, enjoyable energy as well. And I would just protect your boundaries and know that if there's certain things that are making you feel frustrated or irritated, really just addressing that Saturn placement. You can even look to the houses that are ruled by Scorpio and Aquarius to kind of see where you can look out for maybe those pitfalls in the Aquarius house, so that that Scorpio moon can breathe and get those nice downloads from both Jupiter and Neptune. And I will say that when the moon is in Scorpio every month, it can just be quite simply intense and raw and visceral, because a lot of these energies will come to the surface. And with it being Pisces season, a fellow water sign, it can just be a lot. It can be very intense. So those of you who work with a coach or a mentor, this could also be a great day to unearth some of those breakthroughs. And that can be where the Saturn can put pressure on you, where you're having to face some of those boundaries or restrictions you have for yourself, and then work through the emotions, go deep, or potentially going through some of those obstacles or boundaries that have been placed on you or been projected by other people, so we can get that evolution. Remember that Scorpio is all about that phoenix rising, death and rebirth energy. So that's why I'm saying that if you can be mindful of external energy, there can be a lot of beautiful emotional and sexual healing available on Tuesday. And again, the whole spiritual community on social media is going to be talking about portals this day. But I will say, with the moon making trines to Jupiter and Neptune, great day for magic, manifestations, and all the good things that we enjoy. Wednesday, we have the moon in Sagittarius, which is great. Remember, we don't have any planets in fire signs until we get to Aries season, unless the moon is in a fire sign. So this, if you've been feeling super emotional, or maybe you're not as apt or being able to move through that much water energy, this will help to ground yourself, dry a bit off, and enjoy, move around. This is kind of interesting as well, because when the moon is in Sagittarius these next couple of days, it's making squares to the sun, to Jupiter, and to Neptune. So we can use this to our advantage. The one thing I will say is that if those emotions came to the forefront and you were able to go deeper into feel certain things, I don't want you just to run away from that, which I kind of feel like could happen when the moon enters Sagittarius. I don't know if you remember that episode of Sex and the City when Big came back from Napa and he had to get heart surgery, and then Carrie just kept crying and crying and crying. And there was that moment where Big got super vulnerable to Carrie, and then the next morning it was just instantly changed, and he just closed back up again, and then he knocked over the dominoes and they didn't go anywhere. That feels like very much this type of energy where you could get to a point of being very vulnerable or making an emotional breakthrough, but then close back up. So if you've had a conversation, or if you allowed yourself to be vulnerable with someone or a lover or a friend, or even just yourself, I want you to keep exploring that and seeing where that can go as one manifestation. Another manifestation of this could be this energy of freedom and what it means to you with regards to your relationships. Because when I think of freedom with the zodiac signs, it very much is Aquarius and Sagittarius energy in different ways. Aquarius through their words and their mind and how they work in kind of a collective energy, and then Sagittarius with their passions. And we're talking about passion and intimacy with Mars and Venus canoodling back and forth with that conjunction, right? And so with the moon in Sag making those sextiles to Mercury and Saturn, there may be a way of you renegotiating boundaries or how you show up in these spaces to allow yourself the freedom to have fun and to grow while still committing to certain endeavors. And so that's a positive energy that I think will most likely manifest with the sextiles to these planets in Aquarius, and then the squares that we have to Pisces. And I will say that Thursday is a phenomenal day, given that Thursday is Jupiter's day, the moon making that square to Jupiter. If you're wanting to promote anything, go on social media, promote content, release a post, go live, this would be a great time to do so. It just seems like there'll be some kind of news to share or a breakthrough that you want to discuss with other people. There seems like this really benevolent energy. It also seems like a nice energy too, to just get things done, or you might feel very motivated and just feel like, okay, now's the time where I want to make all these moves happen. I've been saying this a lot, especially since Mercury is in Aquarius. If you feel like you want to get your taxes done, this would also be a good week to get that done at any given time. But maybe especially today, like maybe news comes through and you're feeling happy and you want to put some hours away on the taxes. There's also this weekend is a good time for that, but get that done now. So when Mercury goes into Pisces, you can just play and enjoy that kind of mercurial energy. And we also now have Venus and Mars at 22 degrees, making that exact sextile to Neptune. So this can also be a day where manifestations come through, or just intimacy, or a good time to have some fun. I think especially too, if we're talking about the moon in Sag making a square to Jupiter and Pisces, this is fun, fabulous energy. The one thing I would probably just advise is bordering on too much fun, whereas you wake up on Friday and you're like, what did I do? Or maybe I didn't have the proper boundaries because I was just being hedonistic and in the moment. So I'm glad that Saturn is there to kind of keep things in check so that you'll be good to go. But yeah, Thursday night, enjoy yourself. Okay. Friday, this is an interesting day, and this is almost where I want you to address all the energies, or even just to check in throughout the week. Granted that you had Monday to intuitively tap in, see where things are going, and then where you are now, because now we've been in Pisces season for about a week. The moon will be shifting from Sag into Capricorn. So it's a nice mix of different types of dualities here. And yeah, that's what the biggest thing is, just like, let's just check in, see how we're feeling, what we're doing, and kind of the same energy that I was talking about on Thursday. It's a good day to wrap up loose ends. And then also, given that we're moving from Sag into Capricorn, I would really address, how is our work-life balance? Are we being productive and addressing all the tasks that need to be done in our life? And are we still having the freedom to have fun and enjoy ourselves and to work on that passion and intimacy in different areas as well? That would be a really nice kind of either journal prompt or just see what's coming through. And then the weekend for me is very much work hard, play hard. We have the moon in Capricorn the entire weekend. And with this, it's going to be aspecting and being in that conjunction with Venus and Mars in Pluto. So I personally would use this energy to be productive on Saturday. This is kind of like the second day where you could use it to do admin work, get your taxes done, be really productive at work. And then Saturday night, go out, have fun. This is also a time too, if you've been wanting to manifest and call in maybe new love, new energy, this would be a great time to do so, truly. We also have the moon making that trine to Uranus in Taurus. So there could also just be this lightened energy or you feeling really good or just a shift in your emotions. So we kind of saw how the beginning of the week with that Scorpio moon might be a bit more intense and a bit more emotional. And then you have the Sag moon where it's like, okay, now how am I going to recalibrate and use this energy while not just dropping everything that we've learned? And so I think this will almost equalize everything where you have a clear focus. That's why I was saying on Friday, addressing the balance, and then Saturday it can be a lot more clear, which will be nice. And so the moon here is also making some nice sextiles to everything we have in Pisces. So like I said, the weekend is just a really nice time, especially if you've been productive and diligent throughout the week. Enjoy yourself, please. And Saturday too, we have that exact sextile here to the moon and Jupiter. And then on Sunday, the moon is conjunct Pluto. So there might even just be some really nice insights or kind of like mind blown type moments where you're like, oh, it's all making sense. Or I now can connect the dots and see where everything that I've been doing for X amount of time is leading to this. And especially to watch your dreams. That's such a key word, dreams, dreamer, dreaming with regards to Pisces season. But having that moon conjunct Pluto Saturday during the day, at night, Sunday, really addressing what's coming through. And that's again why I want to reiterate that if you can take Monday with that moon in Scorpio, making that trine to the sun in Pisces, and then as the moon travels through, if you can get really clear on how to tap into your intuition, how to channel that energy, you'll get additional messages in the dream realm. Or even I was walking to an appointment this weekend and something came through so clearly. I was like, oh, I need to talk to this person. And then it was like, boom, text message. Or I was thinking about someone else. And then I was like, if I do this, I know they can probably respond in this way. I'm just feeling this type of energy. And it was like, boom, that's exactly what came through. So these are just really fun energies to explore, to have fun with. That intimacy, that passion is also going to be coming through very strongly. So in my mind, like I said, this Pisces season is one for the books. Okay. And I want to remind you that if you are curious and want an additional resource to learn how to tap into your intuition, I would strongly recommend checking out Audra, checking out Little Copper Lighthouse. She's phenomenal. I've got to witness her and see her work in person, and her intellectual and spiritual prowess is really quite superb. So I would really recommend, whether it's through a course, books, podcasts, taking it upon yourself to really learn how you can further tap into these different spiritual, intuitive channels for yourself, because a lot is going to be coming through. And we've just seen throughout the week, there's going to be multiple opportunities for things to come in really, really quickly and succinctly. Okay. Beautiful. And of course, if you have any questions on anything discussed, please let me know in the comments. I'm already kind of like getting giddy about this because I can just already feel what's coming through, especially with that Scorpio moon. Like I said, many of my clients have really been focusing on love, focusing on relationships. So if that's you, Venus is getting stronger and stronger every day. And so hold strong in your resolve as well. That's kind of one final message that's coming through for those of you who have been not even just since Venus was retrograde, but over the entire pandemic, doing the work, having those boundaries, knowing exactly what you want. It's almost like that missing piece of the puzzle. That might also be the moon Pluto conjunction that we have on Sunday, where things become very clear, because then a few days later, Venus will be out of her post retrograde shadows. And I will say this, next week, we have one of the most auspicious new moons of the entire year. But that means that we have that dark moon phase, the balsamic moon phase right before. So this is a really strong, energetic week for a lot to come through, for productivity, for insights, for downloads, for passion, for intimacy, for love. So use it wisely so that you can take time to kind of come down and rest on Monday, Tuesday of next week for that new moon activation that's going to be happening on Wednesday of next week. So that way you can kind of give yourself a time frame. And like I said, this upcoming weekend, work hard, play hard. I feel like that's just going to be a really fun time, especially if any of you have known prominent Capricorns or those with strong Capricorn energy. They know how to throw it down and have a good time. And Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So do with that as you will. I'm sure many of you can read between the lines. Okay. Okay. Have a fabulous week. Enjoy it. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.